Let's try to put multiple of these charts from the previous video into a single image. So let me just copy this from the previous video. And let's see, let's go back to k equals 1. And because I'm going to be doing this for multiple different charts, I'm going to change the column name from pred to, how about pred k? K, where k can change from 1, 2, and so on. And so let's use f strings again. And so now here, instead of pred, I want to do pred k. Okay, so for example, when k equals 1, this makes a new column in the data frame called pred1, and it uses that pred1 column for the color. Okay, let's see if I did this correctly. And let's check. Okay, that looks fine. And so let's try the same thing for k equals 20. So let me copy this, and let me paste it in and change k to 20. And now let's check how the chart looks. Okay, that looks good, and it does look like it changed to the 20 chart. Okay, great. But right now I have violated one of the important coding principles that I even have it listed on the course level learning outcomes for Math 10. I haven't really emphasized it as much this quarter as I should have. So that principle is called dry, don't repeat yourself. And what that means is if you find yourself, for example, copy pasting the same block of code multiple times, that probably means you're not like following good style. And so what is some way that we could create these kind of charts without just copy pasting the same code? Well, one way is to put this into a function. So let me say, I'm going to define a function that I'll call makeChart. It's going to depend on k, and then I have to indent this whole thing. Okay, and then let's return this chart, which I've called C. And so let me delete some of these other ones. Okay, and now let's try it. Let's try makeChart 20. Okay, that looks good. Let's try makeChart 1. Okay, that looks good. And let's try to put two of these into like a single image. And one way to do that is using the altair function alt.vconcat. Okay, this is going to put them one on top of the other. And so here you can see the n neighbors equals 1 version, and you can see the n neighbors equals 20 version. And you might have tried like putting these into a list, but vconcat does not allow lists to be the input argument. Okay, instead, it needs to be just the individual arguments. So if you want to display 30 charts, then you need 30 different arguments. And so how can I put 30 arguments into here? Well, one way is I can make a list of those 30 charts. So we'll say make chart k for k in range. And I want it to start at 1, not at 0, so I have to specify that. And if I want it to end at 30, then I should specify 31. And then the last value of k we'll use will be 30. So here I've made the exact same mistake as a second ago. I've tried to give vconcat a list. Okay, but it doesn't want a list, it wants the individual charts. And what I can do is what's called list unpacking. And I can do that by putting a star in front of the list. And that's going to just automatically remove these entries in the list and give them as arguments to this vconcat function. And so here we have this nice image containing 30 different versions of this altair chart for different values of number of nearest neighbors using scikit-learn's k-nearest neighbors classifier.